Hey foodies, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for sticking with me. So today I'm going to show you how I make my oilless seafood okra. Very delicious. So first, the first thing I'm going to do is add 1 cup of water into a clean pan and let it bubble or simmer for about 1 to 2 minutes before going ahead to add my bell pepper and hot pepper mix. So just a very simple blend of hot pepper and bell pepper, simple. And the next thing I'm going to do is gauge how much water I'll need to reduce the viscosity or thickness of my bell pepper. So I figured that I'll be needing 2 cups of water, which I added. So now I'm just going to keep stirring, having fun, and thinking of the next things to add into this recipe. So as you can see, I'm still stirring, just letting the bell pepper mix into the liquid properly before adding more ingredients. I think I'm going to add my crayfish, my salt and seasoning next. Let's see what I did. Because what did you do, Queenie? What did you add next? Okay, like I said, I added my crayfish here. I was taking too long, gosh. So I added my crayfish here and stirred my pot. Make sure everything mixes well. And of course, you want to add your salt and your seasoning. And because I did not measure this, I would say if you add 2 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of seasoning, it's fine. So next thing I'm going to do is add my chopped onions. People are scared to add onions into their okra because it's going to reduce the viscosity. But I do not care because you know what? It doesn't. It really doesn't. That's to me, it's a myth. Sorry, that to me is a myth. So I just believe that onions and okra go together since they're vegetables. So once you finish stirring that, you add your cleaned and washed fresh fish. For this one, I use tilapia, but you can use a mackerel, catfish, whichever one you prefer. Tilapia does it for me, or mackerel. So I added that and let it cook for about 7 to 10 minutes until it's cooked. And then I took the fish out because if you add other ingredients to this mix, your fish is going to scatter in your soup, and that's not what you want. Except you want it that way, that's fine. So I took out my fish and let it sit for a few minutes while my liquid simmers, and now I added my clean jumbo shrimps. Let me remind you that seafood is not supposed to cook for too long, so I added this with the aim of cooking this for a total of 5 to 7 minutes. So when it cooked, I think about 3 minutes, I added my cooked mussels. I bought fresh mussels, cleaned them, cooked them until they're done. So now you're just going to cook your mussels for just 2 minutes. Remember, the shrimps cooked for 3 minutes and your mussels will cook for 2 minutes, so making it a total of 5 minutes, giving the shrimps time to really cook. So I cooked this for 2 more minutes and I added more seasoning because I wanted my mussels not to taste bland. So now I went ahead to add my chopped okra. Looks really, really good. When you mix this, oh my god, the sight is amazing. So here I added that okra and I made sure to mix very well so that everything doesn't taste differently. My okra needs to mix into the liquid to have that seafood taste that I really enjoy. So I mixed it very well, and then I went on to add my chopped collard greens. But you could use pumpkin, you could use spinach, whatever green works for you, you could use that. For this one, I used collard greens because it doesn't bring out so much water. That was a bad one, so I took it out. I didn't chop it well. So I stirred and made sure everything was in a good shape. Mixed it. Of course, I tasted for salt and seasoning to ensure that my food doesn't taste bland. So the next thing I did was to add back the tilapia that I set aside previously, if you remember. Add that back, and then you slowly and carefully stir just so you don't scatter your tilapia in your food. I just like to see the fish whole because it just translates that you took your time to cook this meal as opposed to, trying to just make everything work at the same time. So I stirred slowly, and of course, after this time, you want to let it simmer for a few minutes. So while it's simmering, the next thing you do is get to your pan and make your swallow. What I mean by swallow is either your pounded yam, your amala, your gari, whichever one you prefer. So once you're done doing that, you check back on your okra soup and make sure it's still everything still works. So if you still want to add more water because you don't like it thick, it's up to you. But when you do that, make sure you add seasoning and salt to balance out the taste. So now it's done. I cut off my heat. on my stove, and I served my okra soup. Mind you, there's no oil in this. It looks really good, tastes amazing. I can't wait for you guys to try it, and thank you so much for watching. And I hope you come back next time for more recipes. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so before you go away. Until next time, I will see you. Take time. Bye. Love you guys, and thank you for supporting me.